Hey everybody, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Friday and welcome to our relationship recap. And tonight, as you guys know, every Friday night we have been recapping Family Empire Houston. I hope everybody had an amazing week. We had quite a hump day. Um, Dating Diaries was off the chain this week. If you haven't watched that, I want to encourage you to go back and watch um, Wednesday's episode. But let me go ahead and bring Scorpio Moe in. You guys, please say hello. Happy Friday, Scorpio Moe.
Happy Friday, Crystal Jordan Jennings.
Happy Friday to Pajama Moe, aka the Honey Dipper.
Oh, hey, easy now.
Hey, the Honey Dipper. The Honey
Easy
Dipper.
now.
I need us to put that down there in the description.
Hey,
you guys,
watch your mouth.
in case you were not watching on Wednesday, you missed out on another one of Moe's aliases. And let me tell you something. I know a lot of Moe's aliases, but I did not know about the Honey Dipper. And in case you didn't know, I want you all to know that the Honey Dipper.
See, and y'all gonna listen. Shame on all of you.
The Honey Dipper will dip you with the quickness. Moe keeps on dipping. He keeps on dipping. I actually was trying to bring some honey, but the honey that I got, I want us to keep it going. Hashtag Honey Dipper. Yes. Thank you, Juicy.
Everybody
hashtag
has
Honey Dipper. Man.
has.
Hashtag Honey Dipper. That's the hashtag. I'm gonna cut up some of this and put that in. But if you're confused right now, if you're confused,
they can just watch. Don't
you're confused, then refer back. Because tonight we're not, yes, Tamasha, Honey Dipper, hashtag Honey Dipper. Go ahead and refer back to Wednesday's conversation. But tonight it's all about the Family Empire. Private person says this is slanderous. I have a sneaky. I'm going to do some more research, and trust me, next Wednesday I'll have more information on the Honey Dipper. But tonight we are here to recap Family Empire, and I just want to start by saying, the issues happening in this family are issues that a lot of people are dealing with. And of course, it gives us an opportunity to have real conversation. Yes. So tonight was a good episode, and I'm ready to get into that. What did you think, Mo?
It was a good episode. Interesting. But some of it, like I said, I've seen, and I kind of stated on the show that I've seen this behavior, in this before.
Which behavior are you referring to?
Like with the part, when the brother that was in this band and they came out to support his thing, mm-hmm. and they had that conversation then, mm-hmm. and I wasn't really cool with that. But yeah, I've seen all that before.
So you're saying that the fact that the family, that the ladies, because of course it opened with this scene with them, they're supporting the husband of Nicole, right?
No. They were supporting.
I'm sorry.
What's that? That's not her husband. That was what's the name's husband.
What's the name? Jamisha.
Yeah.
I'm confused on the husband.
Yeah, Nicole's husband wasn't. He's not in the band.
They were supporting Jamisha's husband. Nicole's husband is the one that's always gone, and he's a business guy.
Right.
So, and I shouldn't get them confused, because to me, Jamisha and Nicole are the biggest personalities.
Absolutely.
And definitely very different, but the biggest personalities. So anyway, they're supporting Jamisha's husband, who is an artist.
Correct.
And let me ask you, as an artist yourself, what do you think what do you think the proper protocol should have been?
He should have been there strictly for that. That conversation should have been for another time, because I will guarantee you, if there was a Braylon event of any sort, mm-hmm. or celebrating one of them, the guys wouldn't have been able to talk about the game Sunday at that event.
That's
It's
true.
not that loud in front. Y'all would have had to go in the parking lot or somewhere else. I know that wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Um, yeah. The women in the family are very take charge. And that's I got a clip that I want to get into in a minute. Um, and I want to say that on Monday night, I have the ladies on the show. So we're going to get into, you guys make sure that you tune in Monday night because the ladies are going to be, three of the ladies are going to be here with me. But I want to talk about the conversation. To me, I guess I wasn't even focused so much on the fact that they did it during his performance because coincidentally today I spent I spent the day at a Real Housewives of Atlanta event, right?
Right.
And they were filming it for the show, but one of the ladies was presenting a new brand and they ended up getting into the drama. So I feel like that's what production creates,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like this is supposed to be like it was at a country club. We were all dressed up, and then the ladies got into it. So it's like I feel like production sets those things up. But so I didn't really take offense too much at that. I definitely saw that he was frustrated, but what I felt was more of an issue, and I would love the the chat to communicate with us about this. The sisters are upset with caramel or caramel because of something that happened.
Right.
Um,
What's the
and
name? Was she? I don't know
it,
if it was a funeral repast or something.
well, they were upset because she was upset with her about her talking to an ex during the time that after her mom passed,
Right.
and they felt like Carmel should not have been stressing her during that time.
Right.
But if Keisha's not upset with it, why are you guys handling? Why are y'all in her business? That's what I don't understand. Like, if I have an issue, right? I have a cousin named Kay, and if Kay is upset with my husband about something that I'm not upset with him about,
Right.
and she's fussing at him in front of me, it just feels like it's a lot of like inappropriateness and bound and line stepping, like habitual line stepping, like
Habitual lines.
habitual line, like you're over the line to where, and I wonder, I want the chat to chime in on this. I'm feeling like the ladies feel like that's how they're supposed to show love. I'm supposed to show you that I love you by having your back and by you know beating down your significant other by any means necessary if they do something I don't like.
Can I say something
Please.
from a man from the outside looking into a woman's world? They do that a lot with a lot of stuff. It ain't just a lot of. I don't like the way, and I've said this to a few people. I was like, if that's not like anything affecting you or could turn on you. And I just feel like she doesn't need to put up with, or she shouldn't have to. And it's like, mind your business. Like, it's a lot of line stepping.
Yeah, but I feel like
is that real? Is that a real thing?
what, the line stepping?
No, I mean, I know that part it is. I think it's the justification to be in someone's business when they do that. I'm just protecting her or so on and so forth. That's what
I
it
agree with
feels
what
like.
Marsha said. I think this family moves as a unit in everything they do, including family affairs. I agree with that, but I think that's dysfunctional. I think that's dysfunctional because at the end of the day, and this is just my opinion, you guys let me know what you think. In my opinion, if I have an issue with something that my aunt's husband is doing to her, or my cousin's husband is doing, or a significant other, my place is to talk to her about it and see how she feels. If she says that she's okay, then it's none of my concern. I can keep talking to her about it, but to confront the other person for her is, to me, definitely way over the boundaries, and it borderlines on controlling to me.
Yeah, yeah. You're tiptoeing.
I didn't like.
Tiptoe on it.
I mean, I also feel like I would not, if I was in Keisha's position. It's unfortunate because number one, it was such a sensitive topic, and they did not even stop until they saw that she was emotional and had to get up. They did not come to their senses. They were just focused on what they wanted to say, specifically Nicole. And then when they saw that she was upset, then it's like, oh, okay, maybe we should back off.
This is very familiar.
Yeah.
It's just a group of people doing it now. This happens on a one-on-one basis.
Well, we'll speak on it, Mo.
No, I mean, just in general.
Speak on it, Honey Dipper.
You know, man, I just listen. I just think that you push, and when someone's telling you, the fact that she had to keep on hearing your mother's death, and you're not looking at her and paying attention. It's one way. It's one way until it explodes. And then people will talk about the end, but no one talks about the buildup. You see what I'm saying? Now let's say she gets up, and now the story is she just got up and left, and nobody what about? No, she was like, all right, you pushing, and I think I've seen men do it. I've seen women do it. It's just, and to see a group of people doing it and who are supposed to love you,
right?
Is, to me, it's just, it's too. I'm not mad at her. I am not mad. She did the right thing to get up and leave. What was she supposed to?
There's a terminology called groupthink, right?
Okay.
And I studied this when I was in college in one of my psychology classes. When a group of people are doing something and they are the majority, right? Even if it's not right, people lose the ability to think for themselves. And they're just all joining in. And I feel like the family, yes, they move in packs, right? But the fact that nobody had the emotional maturity. Let's take it a step further. Tamasha asked, did Lakeisha present it a certain way? Even if she did, she had just lost her mother. So is there anybody with the emotional maturity to say, you know what? She said this to us, but she was bothered, but she was probably extremely emotional at the time. Everybody knows that a good example is Love and Marriage Huntsville, when Latricia is talking about how when she lost her parents, she was in an emotional state. Now, her significant other at the time, horrible person, we'll talk about that later, he said he did not know how to comfort her. But my point is, when a person is dealing with a loss, specifically the loss of a parent or a child, they are not in the best emotional state. So you have to take what they say with a grain of salt, as opposed to saying, I'm going to weaponize this against their relationship. Let's figure out, was she emotional at the time? She might have felt like they were insensitive to her during that time. Her mother passed. Theirs did not. So they're looking at it from the perspective of what's right, what they feel like is right, as opposed to the feelings, her feelings, and taking her feelings into consideration. And that is a huge issue.
There you go. You're 1000% right. And it could, I'm still trying to confuse why the aunt got the way she got, but that was kind of out of left field. Yeah, I don't want to seem insensitive. I'm just saying, it seemed like a bit much. But let me ask you this: do you think some of the piling on, because she is the outside, or whatever they quote and say her, or would they have done that to a Braylon, somebody that was? Well, I guess she is a Braylon because her daddy is straight. You see what I'm saying? But you know what I mean.
I think that's how they show love. And I think in a lot of Black families, we show love by being no nonsense and not tolerable of anything. And it's almost like a rite of passage to let the other person know, now we ain't gonna take you treating our sister bad. But as opposed to that, to me, the best thing to do would have been like, we love her, we believe you love her, and we hope to see that. we feel like, we heard this, but we hope to see you guys like in a positive way, as opposed to, I'm watching you, you better not mess up, you did her, like all of that.
It seemed like an intervention. That was more like nobody. It's loud music. The energy is up. Like, why? It just seemed like an intervention to me. Not cool.
I do feel like I think maybe I'm going to give Nikki the benefit of the doubt. I can see the chat is not very, it's not feeling it. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt in that she was just very emotional, because she maybe felt Keisha's emotion, and maybe it bothered her, because some people just don't do well with all the drama, right? I feel like her breaking down maybe was because she just felt uncomfortable and didn't like the situation.
Her crying made me feel uncomfortable. If I was there, I wouldn't know what to do. Do I hug her? Do I console her?
But Nicole seems very no nonsense. And I know people like that. Like, they're very no nonsense, but they also can come off as kind of cold, and disconnected emotionally, right? Because if to me, and I know I've been accused of being a Care Bear, but at the point that someone starts crying, I'm not gonna laugh. I'm gonna be like, what?
Right.
Are you up? What? And also realizing that maybe this environment is emotional for everybody.
I think it puts men sometimes in an awkward position, because we're not as sensitive and we don't know what to do. Just kind of like, I don't know what you know what I mean?
I have seen guys not know how to respond when a woman starts crying. It is the funniest. Actually, it is the funniest thing. It is the funniest thing, because they just look like, oh, they're there. One of my guy friends, I was crying about something, and he just said, there's no crying in baseball, Christal.
Because you don't know. They're sitting up there and you're just standing. You don't know if like to pet them like a dog, or kind of like, I just feel weird if I'm not connected to whatever emotions they having. And yes, you are right, Tamasha, I would have been laughing. Low key.
Mo.
Because it wasn't really believable. Man.
But
the hands was too much over the eyes. I didn't believe it. I'm sorry.
Everybody shows emotion different. I do agree that it seemed, and we also have to realize that this is like, it's still an edited show.
Right.
I would hope maybe they edit, I don't know, because it seemed kind of out of left field, but and Nola Darling said, I laugh in awkward situations, but I wouldn't laugh in that situation. I know someone does that too, but I just don't feel like in that situation. I agree with you, Nola. In that situation, first of all, even if, and I've also been in a situation where I feel like somebody's crying because they want the attention to be on them, right? But because you could tell Lakeisha was getting upset, and the problem is nobody else was paying attention. They were so locked into being a army, they weren't paying attention to the person that they were supposed to be defending and showing support to was breaking under their pressure. I think in that situation, you cannot laugh. And the fact that you're trying, I think that we got to be careful as family, and not to come off like, groupthink and like a gang to beat somebody down, because what happens is you end up running people away from your family.
That's true. But you ever see the villain cry? It's like you don't know whether to believe it or not, because like you said, they might want the attention and spin it on them. You see what I'm saying?
But I don't think Nikki was doing that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't know either. I have seen people cry, like you said, just to switch the attention, because she might have said something that caused some of this to go this way. And let's also say this. It's normal for people to be skeptical of significant others. But I think that we need to normalize not always looking for something negative in the situation. The two of them, because you could tell, like, even when they were talking about Carmelette, oh, is that her stripper name? Like, they just they have the bully mentality of anybody that comes in, they're gonna put them through the ringer. And it feels like that's the way that they do things. And then if you can withstand it and you go through the hazing, then you can cross over, right?
I might not like you. I might not want to be there.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to, when you're in a family like that, you're going to have to fall under the flag. You can't be no lone wolf and do your own.
You cannot.
That's why I personally cannot be in a situation like that.
But I also feel like Keisha is, even though they're trying to, make her be a part. First of all, Nicole talks about how they were really close. They were young. And there's these issues, as we see from the clips from upcoming episodes, there's still some undercurrent of pain there that now that they're adults is causing distance, right? I'm not a side chick. My dad loved my mom. They were in a relationship. That's hard for the other girls to, Monet and Nicole, probably to comprehend. There's some disconnect there because of that pain. And I think that's making her feel still like an outsider. So I think in their quest to make her feel like an insider, it's like, oh, as opposed to let's deal with the issues, let's haze her significant other.
Yeah, but it's tough. It's like, I don't know you. And it's like, well, I'm not dating you. You don't, it'd be cool to know me, but I don't need to know you. You don't need to know me. Like, I don't like that. I need to know you. Like, if that's her mom's, that'd be something different. But you the cousin. I don't need to know no cousins.
Well, really. The sister.
Oh, pardon me, the sister. But they all have that attitude, though.
They have, because they feel like I'm telling you, it comes off like, I appreciate the fact that they're a family that loves each other and that's connected and close, but it comes off like a gang.
Yes.
And that means that, it is like it is hazing. It is hazing. It's the foundation of, I'm gonna make it hard for you. I'm gonna put pressure on you to see if you break. And if you don't break, or if you do break, but you stay put, then I'm gonna welcome you in. As opposed to, first of all, you need to take the cues from the person who's with them. And if she's fine with it, then you should be fine with it.
And I don't know enough about you. I don't really, where she come from? You hear stuff like that, you be like, yo, what?
That's that mean girl stuff that people that really, it's not cool.
Right, dude. Right, Ruzy, they just like they was the old lady gang.
They are funny. At least they're old, though. I like Candy.
Yeah, I give them a pass because they old.
I like them. And I'm not going to lie. My granny and her sisters were mean as heck. They were mean girls. My granny and her sisters would sit back and look at you and crack jokes behind your back.
I can tell you fellas how you could win women like that over if you really want the family. You could. It's going to take some work, but you could do it.
Well, share with us.
You got to get out there early. You got to do like Chaz did. You got to come in there with flowers and candy for all of. You got, the old women, they still like the older women, should I say. They still like the old-fashioned gentleman. So you got to take the old-fashioned gentleman approach and come in there with
They also see through things. They got a lot of common sense.
But they ain't had it in a long time. They're big. They'll sell you to the family. You come in there with them ladies and you give it to them, and trust me, they'll talk. See, that's a good man, girl. That's what you want. When they say stuff like that, you want the right course. And you just got.
It's a good man, Savannah.
There you go.
Good man.
There you go.
Yeah.
I helped clean this girl's house, right? Yeah, cabinets. She had old stuff in her cabinets. I'm in there cleaning it, and her mom's is in town. That's what my mother said to me. She was like, yeah, he's in here cleaning. She was like, yeah, see, that's a good one right there.
And you were like, yes.
I was like, no, she nasty. This stuff is old. She needs to clean up all this. That's what I was like.
But you were happy that she had. Was that the
That was the last one.
I don't know who the last one was.
You do know who the last one was. Girlfriend, actual girlfriend.
I was thinking it was the one that was in Powder Springs.
No,
You
no,
know.
no, 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 no. Her house was clean. No, this was the one that used to live out where you live at now.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I got a video I want to play, and I want us because I think this is a good, we're gonna get some good unpacking done tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go into that, I do want to point out, and this is kind of an uncomfortable situation, but I want to point it out because I feel like that's what we do here. We talk about things that are uncomfortable. I appreciate the fact that the show covered the women going to work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say to my sisters, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm holding myself accountable. I grew up with a mother that worked out all the time, right? My mom would take us with her. She would measure herself to make sure she was 36, 24, 36. My mom was on some different stuff, right? I definitely grew up like that. It was a lot of pressure, and as a result of that, there have been most of the time during my adult life, I have worked out. Now, when I go through something, when I get very stressed with work or I go through something emotional, a lot of times I will abandon that. Lately, I have been so stressed, like for the past maybe 8 months, I have not worked out as much as I need to. Every we know the statistics about Black women, right? But I think that when we come to this conversation comes up when it comes to dating, and I hear a lot of men say, "I want a woman that works out. I want a woman that works out," and sometimes we can take offense to it because maybe we're not working out, or maybe we're not in a good place, but I feel like we have to, as Black women, it's important. When you see the trainer go talk to the one sister and she's like, well, I got asthma, I got a twisted ankle, but I like to eat. My sisters, we got to do better. And I want to take a pledge. I want you guys to, we're going to remind each other. You guys can't see this, but I can, one day I'll turn the camera around. So I have my treadmill and my bike are here in my studio room, right? Where I have a couple of setups here and I have my workout equipment. We have to make working out a part of our lives. We have to make it a part of our lifestyles, ladies. We have to. It is so important when it comes to health that we are not laughing and making excuses because something as small as, well, I like to eat, but I don't like to work out. That is the recipe for bad health. That is the recipe for depression. That's the recipe for a lot of negative things, specifically why we see Black women always in the top of a lot of statistics. And so I just want to take accountability and say, I am not someone that dislikes working out, but when I get in an emotional place or I feel overwhelmed, that can be the first thing that I stop. And that cannot be. We have to change the narrative. And so I'm challenging the XO family. I love that, Miss Rhonda. I love that, Druzy. We've got to change that narrative. And so we're going to make sure that we talk about that when we come on here. Just we got to be making sure that we work out.
Can I say something?
Yes.
And do it for you. Like the scenario Christal just posed, like, don't get me wrong. If that guy is fit and he's telling you that, that's a cool conversation. You guys can get in there. But don't let no dude that ain't working out himself telling you need to work out.
Facts on
Do
facts.
it for you, ladies, or and gentlemen, whoever it is. I want to put that out there. That's all.
No, I agree. And I don't think it's not about the guy, because I feel like we know that you can work out every day, but we're all different. Like God made us different, right? So just because you work out every day doesn't mean that you're going to be a size 2, but it does mean that you're probably going to be healthy, right? And it does mean that it's going to actually probably make you make your self-esteem and your sense of self better, because when you do things for yourself, you feel better.
Absolutely.
So I feel like when we saw that scene, it is indicative of a lot of things that we know are true for our culture, but I think we just have to change that narrative. So I just want to encourage everybody here, like, let's bring that into our conversation and love on each other and high five each other for that. Because it is really important, and we cannot be upset when a significant other that we are interested in, when they want someone that is focused on their health, that health is a priority. It's not fair to be like, oh, you should love me for who I am. Yeah, but you should also love yourself for who you are. And that's how we can show ourselves. That's a part of self-love. And so I just wanted to say that, because that scene, I was like, oh my gosh, it kind of hurts, because we know it's so true. There's so many of us that don't really like to work out. And it's because a lot of us haven't been taught. I was taught that and still fall off sometimes. But
and start small. You don't have to go over you can start little at a time. You don't have to just rush in, think you have to do everything. Pace yourself and get into it. Because what starts to happen is, forget the results that you can see in the mirror. You'll start to actually feel better and feel different. And that's the start of it. It starts from the inside out. So you'll start to feel a certain way, but give yourself enough grace and time to do that. This is not an overnight thing. But
it's not about looks, because
there you go.
Somebody can be a size 16 and work out every day. And then somebody can be a size 2 and not work out. And I want to say that too, DL. I do feel like that too. Like, I will be in a zone. Like, if I get in a zone, I'm in a zone. And then when I don't work out, I feel guilty and I beat myself up. And I feel like that's a trap as well, because then when you feel guilty, you end up feeling bad about yourself and you don't do it again. And that makes it go, it snowballs. So I feel like it has to be something that you're not doing for a specific period of time. A lot of times I would say, oh, I need to, I'm going to this place. I'm going to Essence. I want to make sure I work out. No, I just want to make sure I'm working out 5 days a week for life, in my life. It's not about for a certain event or to lose weight, to get in a certain pair of jeans. It's just because in my life, that has to be something that I do. Just like I pray, just like I wash my face, just like I need to be outside and get fresh air. I have to do something.
So let me ask you this. If you start off, can you kickstart that way? Is that cool? Like, if it starts with to get into this dress for whoever's wedding, and then just keep going, ladies. If you got there, because you can work out all you want, but if your diet ain't right,
the diet is the most important thing.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
Diet, actually, when it comes to, but it's two different things. The diet is the most important thing when it comes to actually seeing the results, right?
There you go.
The working out is really important when it comes to heart health and that kind of thing. And I will say this:
cardio.
I lived in Dunwoody, and my neighborhood was a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, right? And when I tell y'all, first of all, there were no wing spots, no fast food places around there. My daughter and I moved over there, and we were like, where is American Deli? Because we enjoy a good honey barbecue wing. But there was none of that in that neighborhood. There was, the only things, there was a McDonald's and there was a Jersey Mike's, but that was it. And it was for a large area. And every day those white women would be out with their dogs and their kids. Like, that's just their lifestyle, right? And it's not that anything is wrong with us or right with them or vice versa, but it's just something that you can see. There's a different patterns have been taught in different cultures, and we have to take something from someone else's culture that we know can benefit us. So I don't think there's anything wrong with using it as a jump start, but I've learned, for me, it's not positive to say I'm doing it for this, because what happens is I do it for that. And then when I get that, I stop. It's like, oh, I can do it and then stop. And I have to know, especially at this age that I am, it just has to be a lifestyle. It's not do it to stop, because that makes you feel like it's almost you're punishing yourself to get to a certain place. It's not a punishment. It's just something I do every day or every other day to make myself healthy and make myself feel good.
There you go.
So yes, they put more fried and fast foods. I'm telling you, I was so upset because I used to live in Fayetteville before I moved to Dunwoody. And Fayetteville, you have to go through Riverdale to get to Fayetteville. And I'm telling you all, in a 10-mile radius, there were 3 Popeyes. 3.
Yep.
Now, Popeyes does have delicious chicken, okay? But there's no reason for there to be 3 of them in a 10-mile radius. Like, you just went down 85 and it's 3 Popeyes. That's too much. And then I go over here in this new neighborhood when we moved, and there was a Popeyes was 25 minutes away. there's a reason for that, you know?
Yeah.
So I agree with Druzy. You don't deprive yourself, because I'm not a person that's ever going to give up certain things totally, but I do think moderation, and I can't
There
admit
you go.
that a lot of times food becomes a comfort, right? So if I would do something like, okay, if I was watching my favorite show, I would eat something. I would use food as a way to like reward myself. But that's not good. You know, when you're younger, you can do that and there's no proof. When you get a little bit older, you wake up and that strawberry shortcake is like, "What's up, girl?"
Listen, you don't have to get the 10 wings. You can get the 6.
You can. You
You
can.
don't have to get the
Every
5.
week. You may not need them every week. But anyway, I don't want to stay too long on that. I just want to
Yeah.
say that scene was real, but we also got to change that narrative, right?
No, I got a real scene for you.
Okay.
So the brother, Chris was trying to, I guess, renegotiate his contract, right, with Nicole, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess him and his wife were talking, and the situation came up about, he had lost his job because the big oil companies out there working for, that's like the big jobs
In Texas, absolutely.
And they make very, very good money out there,
mm-hmm.
And doing it. And he got laid off, and she was like, "Remember that?" And she had to hold it down, and that just brought, it came up, and I just thought that was interesting. And obviously, I would tell any brother, man, you lose your job for whatever, the clock has begun. But she put it down. You could tell she didn't like it, but she did it, and they still together, and it was something that they went through.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't stay in, they went through.
Yeah.
And that's very important. And I just thought that was dope. And at the same time, I could tell he felt a little bit that he had to lean on her. I don't know if he was getting unemployment or whatever the case may be, but she held it down. I was just curious to how people felt about that, because you could tell she felt the way, but she still did it.
I want to get all into that. So let me play this clip, and then that's what we're going to kind of unpack, is this situation with Chris and the family and his reaction to his wife. And so I want to play this clip, and then let's have a good old fashioned XO family conversation.
Let's do
Get
it.
into it.
On Black women, and we are all boss ladies, but at the end of the day, we want the soft life. We don't want this hard life. We want to sit back and let our husband take control. And I want Chris to lead. So I'm hoping whatever decision this is he makes with Brayden is for the betterment of our family to grow. But I just feel too long. Like, I'm like, okay, how long is it going to take? I really want us to make sure we're on the same path. I ain't supposed to be busting my
Okay. All right. There's a lot in that, right? I want to start obviously with the boss lady thing, right? Because you guys know, with the whole book I have, Dear Alpha Female, I talk a lot about this whole idea of a boss chick, or what's the alpha female. And so by her saying that their family, the Brayden women, are full of boss chicks. Number one, that there's already an identity there, right? And then them saying that, but they want to live the soft life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out, it's so interesting to me that when you hear women say, "I'm a boss, I'm an alpha, I'm an independent," usually those women end up getting men that are very passive and do not make them feel safe, right? Because I could see in that clip, in the conversation that they had over dinner, at their anniversary, and even the way he's talking to her, it does not feel like he is able to make her feel safe. And I don't know, because we still have more to get to know from the other marriages, right?
Right.
But I would be willing to bet that a lot of the relationships where the woman is proud to take on that role of being, "I'm a boss chick, I got this," 9 times out of 10, the man that she's with, she's asking something of him that he has never been able to provide. And then she resents him for it. And then he resents her for it.
You are preaching, Christal.
Why is that, Mo?
Trying to ask you that.
Well, okay, I have a theory.
I just know how it can feel, but
Yeah.
I should be asking why is that? And you never seem to have that. I don't know if you were even ever in that position, but there's something in someone even before the man that just has that. Like we had the thing Sunday, right? Love Connection XO. And the woman, there was a woman there who they referred to as Harriet, so on and so forth. And
they did
spoke about one thing about the racial thing, her and her daughter, but there was another thing that she spoke about. And that was the strong, I'm strong, I had to do this, and as a single mother, and I had to do that, so on and so forth. And she was right about everything she said. The problem was she didn't know how to manage her strength. No man wants, no real man, like, I want you to be strong in my absence, not in my presence.
Somebody said that. That was good.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I don't need you. When you're around me, I don't need you to flex your strength.
Can you say that again?
Like, I just think that the whole, like, I get it all. And if I'm out of town and you, whatever you have to do, pump your gas and it happens to be, I need you to be strong in my absence. You know, if God forbid, I pass away, you strong enough to hold it with the kids, so on and so forth. But around me, I don't want to see, I'm the strong one. Now we're competing against strengths, and it's just like, I don't want to be battling with a woman about the strongest, and you telling me what the, that's not, when we say we want to solve one, I want you to be strong in my absence, and in my presence speak. This is what the whole day, well, what's the feminine, just not that energy. I promise you. Now a guy that accepts that, that's what you should be questioning. Or a guy that's comfortable with that.
Right.
If I'm sick in a hospital or laying up in the bed and I can't, that's when your strength should kick in.
Let me ask you this though, because I hear what you're saying, but I also wonder, like, is there an opportunity for a woman who not necessarily strong, because strong is a very like we connect it with masculine traits, but intelligent, business savvy. Is there an opportunity to show those traits? Because I think sometimes women are like, oh my gosh, I'm strong, but strong, I've been told I'm strong. And I've been told that by numerous men. And I think it's because they saw me go through being almost wiped out off the earth and pull myself up and push through, right? And they say it as a compliment, and it always feels to me like a negative thing. But I don't think they're talking about me being strong in that. They're talking about the fact that you were able to not give up. The fact that you've been able to be a conscientious businesswoman.
Yes. We're looking at you from afar and we're like, yo, you held on, but I'm here now. And
that's hard though. That's hard.
No. And I get it. And I swear, women, I really truly get it. And there's a transitional period. I think we as men have to give her grace and understand she's transitioning out of doing it all by herself.
Right.
But she has to know that she's not, and I'm coming to meet you halfway on that. Then I'm coming all the way. Yeah. But you just gotta, like, if you keep on saying I gotta hold it down, I'm trying to figure out where's there room for me if you're trying to be strong for, like I said, if he loses his job, right? That's when your strength kicks in my lowest point. But if I'm here and I'm present, I don't need, so when a man sees that, he's like, you know what? If something should ever go any kind of way, I know you're going to be good, or we're going to be good because I see your strength over there.
Yeah.
But I don't want it. Does that make sense?
No, I definitely get that. And I'm just trying to figure out, is there a way for her to be intelligent, smart, a wonderful helpmate, right? So is there an opportunity for the woman to showcase, you're here, I'm here, and the fact that you have me and I'm a great businesswoman is an asset to us? Is there an opportunity for that?
Yes. this is where the real partnership comes in.
Right, the gun boss just said there's a difference between strong and partnership. Now, let me say this for the women. And this episode really is a great example of this. And this is not to beat up that couple, because all of us are going through it and learning.
Absolutely.
But when Chris said to Jaquetta, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He sees the contract. He doesn't necessarily like the contract. He also hasn't been a very conscientious business person with the relationship with the family, because as Nicole pointed out, he's been being paid. They don't feel like he's doing a great job. Those things add up to make her feel like you don't have it, right? So we have to address the fact that I watched that scene and I was like, if I was her, I would not trust him, because she said, well, what are you going to do? He was like, I don't know. I may just decide at the last minute, I'm not going to sign the contract. What type of businessman are you? So at that point, I don't, and it's a very innate thing. If I don't trust you, I don't let go. And his responses did not suggest that he was a good business person and could lead. It was really, really like, what? For me, I was like, I would be so not comfortable, because what I would have preferred, I'm just going to say, and you guys can chime in. If you don't like the contract that my family put together, right, and she even acknowledged that, how dare you ask me to do more work for no money, no more money. I could care less what other people are doing. Nicole brought up, well, this is like the status quo for other people in that field. I don't care. I've been under a contract with you for this amount of dollars. You're adding a lot more work, then I need an increase in pay. And that's just good business. And he did not say, because he wasn't, take the emotion out of it and say, I'm going to renegotiate this contract. Let's find a place where all of us can be comfortable. We may not necessarily be, because really a great contract, both sides are a little bit uncomfortable. Both sides had to give something up. But the way he handled it did not make me feel like he was able to lead the situation. And I understood why she's not having his back, because and what happens is, when she does not trust him, what does she do? She runs back over and has her family's back. Totally dysfunctional, totally wrong. But the reason she's doing that is because she is with a man that she does not trust. She does not trust his leadership. No woman is going to follow a man that she does not trust his leadership. And it is our responsibility as women not to couple ourselves with men that we don't trust.
I get it. I get it. Then we start teetering on the line of respect. So what I think, if anything, worst case scenario, or maybe even best case scenario, was you're a part of that team. I'm sleeping with the people that's creating this contract. Right. So my thing is, why are you giving, as your husband, letting a bum contract come to me? Because now
I agree with Druzy. Druzy said he should not work in that family business with his wife and her family. No, essentially being his wife and her sis and her cousins are his boss.
I totally agree.
It will never end up to him being a leader, because he has taken directive from Nicole. Nicole as his boss. And for me, I know how I am. And if I work in a situation and a woman that I'm cool with, I don't want my husband working for nobody. But because you can't tell him what to do. And if he's okay with you telling him what to do, and he just takes yes, then I'm not gonna even follow. I'm not following. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You're right. I mean, I when I saw it, I was like, they're there now, and they've been doing it. So, my whole thing, she should have. I'll be looking at her and be like, your family is how come you not into negotiating? You're part of this.
Well, that's part's true. But I feel like he should be he should be a better businesswoman.
No,
He's going with the flow.
He absolutely could, but he was very quick with it. He's like, I'm not doing it. But my thing is,
what are you doing?
You never take the first offer anyway.
You don't. But what is he doing? He's not speaking with authority. He's speaking like a man who doesn't know what to do. I may do it. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well, he just seems very submissive and very not.
That's the only way those men can survive in a family like that. I'm telling you, anybody else that bucks, they're going to gang up on him. He's out. I've seen it. My family is like that with I feel sorry for all the dudes that come into my family. I'm sorry, y'all.
You said that before.
They are. I do feel when I see them, I just shake my head. I was like, you're gonna fall in line or you're gonna get out. Because they not having it. It's true.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, let me tell you, this is what I think, and I could be wrong, but I think if a woman respects her husband, the person she lays down with that night, if she trusts, first of all, if she respects him, and then if she trusts him, then she will have his back. And I don't think other people can penetrate that. I think when they're able to penetrate it, and it goes back to what I said initially, a lot of times strong, very type A personality women are attracted to men that are submissive, because the men that are not, the alpha men, will not deal with that personality, period. Period.
Thank you. It go together. The passive man and the strong, that's the fit. That's the shoe.
That is the shoe.
But at the same time, here's the wild part. Those women that want I ain't gonna say the person name, but those women that want the strong men, but that are like that, you push away the same stuff you want.
That's true. That's true.
I'm like, you want that man, but how you carry it,
that's true.
You push that man away. You gotta.
It's a contradictory, because so many women will be like, I want an alpha man. And then when a man stands up and says something, I know he ain't, who is he talking to? He bet I can't deal with that.
Shout out to one of my sisters.
Now I will say this for my
she just popped up in the chat. My sister just popped up. As soon as I said that, I said
so
what up?
But I will say this. For me, it's difficult because I do feel like I fit that bill to an extent. And I think Adrian is the first man that I've been with that is, and it does. I do feel like it does this sometimes but I also, that's what I want, right? I wanted a man that was like that, because I want a man that I don't want a man that, and I hate to say run over, but I don't want a man that I don't trust. That's a better way of saying it. We have to restructure our vocabulary. I think a lot of women say, I don't want a man that I can run over.
Okay.
But that suggests that there's something wrong with you. Why do you want to run over anybody? So what it is I don't want a man that I don't trust. And in that situation, watching that scene, I was like, that's it. I don't trust him. And let me tell you something. As a sister, say I have a little sister, right? I have some little sisters that I like mentor, that are like my God-given sisters. If I see her guy and I don't trust him, I'm going to say,
mind your business, Christal.
I would never say anything to the man, because that's not my place. But what I would do is I would ask her, is she okay? Because I know that behavior, a man saying, well, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. That's not the type of man that you will actually respect and give your submission to. Not.
So let me ask you this. What about, because you said, watch what you say and speak. I've heard women say, I need somebody that can handle me. When I hear that energy,
you leave.
Why do you have to be like, you see what I'm saying? That lets me know you're a problem.
We have so much work to do as a people.
Is that fair? Is that
it is. But I want to restructure the vocabulary. Because like I said, when I said I don't want a man I can run over, or I need a man I can handle. What that means is in the positive way, because a lot of women have been taught that a lot of women are looking for someone that they can submit
Get over on.
Or what?
No, I'm messing with you guys.
You say?
I said get over on. I'm messing with you.
Thank you, babe. A lot of women are looking for a man that they can respect. And I remember there's as many men as there are out there. There are not a lot of men that women respect. There could be a lot of men that you're attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men that may have a few coins. But as far as the men that you can respect, that's a very, very few and far between, I believe.
Can you give us top 3 respectable things as men? I'm just curious at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Just the top 3.
Absolutely. So I would say the first thing for me is I watch how you handle your own business, right? Mm-hmm. And when I say business, I mean everything that's a part of you. I watch how you handle your interaction with your children, your interaction with your family, your business, your career, what are your professions. If you do not handle that with confidence, I automatically, it's not that I don't like you, but I'm probably not going to respect you.
Gotcha.
So that's the first thing, is how does he handle himself? Another thing is, how does he handle himself among other men? For me, for example, when I told you guys I had a lot of guys, friends around me and guys that I work with that were very wealthy. I have a guy come around that I'm dating, and he's excited for the other guys to pay for his dinner. Not respecting you, because at this point you're acting like a girl to me. This is just Christal. You and I both are sitting here, and a lot of times I would go out with those guys and I would pay for my own meal, or I would try to. They'd be like, Christal, put yourself away. But I'm not trying to take advantage of you. We're friends. There's nothing here. I like to be respected. And I know whenever you are freeloading or you're always leaning on someone else, people don't respect you if they pay for you. They do not. So I cannot respect you if you show up and show him that you're a groupie, or you're a fan, or you're a simp, whatever. You want him to pay for your meal, then I don't respect you, because I feel like you don't know how to respect yourself, right? Another thing is, the last thing I'll say, and there's a lot of things, but these are just things that off the rip.
Yeah.
What happens is a nonverbal communication that makes, I watch it and then I know I'm going to respond to you this way. Believe it or not, men that are constantly chasing different women, I don't feel safe with you. I don't respect you. Now, I could be attracted to you. A lot of women are attracted to womanizers, but if you can't control your desires and you're like a dog that every time a pretty ball bounces by, you got to chase it.
That's big right there. I'm glad you said that. That's
not man. To me, that's not the definition of manhood. That's the definition of a dog. So
that don't mean the women that's on you. That means you chasing the women.
That's right. That's the difference. Now, sometimes if you see a man and all the women want him, that can be attractive, because you're like, oh, okay. But if he's chasing, if he's pressed, I don't respect you, because
you're 40 plus.
Well, but even younger, because there are guys that act different. There are some guys that just, they're constantly distracted, and they're thirsty. The thirstiness, I don't respect you. Now, like I said, there are other things, but those are the main things.
Yeah, I just want to know,
how does he handle his business? How does he act among other men? Do other men chump him off? Does he allow that to happen? And I'm not saying that he needs to fight or anything like that, because we're talking about grown people. We're not talking about 21-year-olds or 17 or 18.
How a man handles himself around other men, even men judge that.
Right. And we see it. We watch it. My godmother told me that. Watch the way other men respond to him. And if other men don't respect him, then it's very difficult for a woman to respect that man. So I think a lot of times the problem is we are often attracted to men that we don't respect. I can admit that I have been in the past attracted to men that I did not respect. I liked him. I might have felt, he might have been fine. He might have had swag, but swag and fine and money don't equal respect. So a lot of times you want someone and then you want him to start acting different. You want him to get some sense of character, some sense of integrity. And he's not going to do it because that's not who he ever was. So as a woman, I feel like we have to teach our daughters not to settle for a man that they don't respect. And because that is where all this disrespect comes from. And it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I learned that with my horse. If you're on a horse's back and the horse doesn't respect you, it won't go where you tell it to go. I don't want to, I'm not suggesting that women are beneath or anything. I also am not a real big fan of the word submissive because of the way it's used. But I do feel like women will not be disrespectful to a man that makes her feel safe and that she can respect.
Can I ask you this? So do you think from an older woman speaking to a younger woman, let's say in the late teens, early 20s, do they know what's respectable? Do they really know right now? Or do we have to like reach back out to these young ladies and redefine or tell them where this respect line is and what it really is? Because it feels like we lost it.
You know what the sad thing is? And I'm so glad we're having this conversation. The sad thing is we have taught our young girls that the only thing that is a sign of respect is money. And that is not true. In fact, that's the biggest falsehood, because you and I both know, as Kendrick Lamar says, there's a lot of cornies with a check. You and I both know a lot of people that have a lot of money and have no character, are not respectable. And unfortunately, a lot of young girls have been taught that if a man has money, that is the characteristic of a good man, or a man that I can submit to. And that's why, watch it now. That's why we have women who will put up with a man treating them like trash. He's sleeping with you and your friends and everyone else, but you're going to stay with him because he has money.
You got the bag, though.
You idolize the money and you allow him to disrespect himself and disrespect you. And it's because you've been taught that money is king as opposed to character. But the problem with that is when the money goes, you're going to be left with that shell. And if that shell had no character, can you imagine what he will do to you when the money leaves?
How many people do you know with money with shitty characters? Man, I know more than more. Man. Ooh.
But I think the majority of people have questionable character.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, a lot of people with money have questionable character. A lot of people that don't have money have questionable character. But the problem is we're using money as a gauge to if a man is worthy of our attention and our affection.
Yeah, it's tough. And I just think the young ladies are getting false information in the music.
Because they don't know. The people that
I don't think they're getting the information.
Right.
Because the mother of the aunt is still trying to figure it out.
That's true. But there's a scene on A Different World. And I know my XO family, you guys go ahead and like this chat because we need to share this. We need to be sharing these conversations.
Where we at, man?
Other people hear this. There was a scene on A Different World where Whitley was talking about Dwayne, and that was like the love. I just love them. That was the couple of the 90s. If you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, you probably were a fan of that show. I even heard men that were my age say, I wanted to be like Dwayne Wayne. I wanted to have a girl. I wanted to have a girl like Whitley. I wanted to be that. Like that back then, that's what we were all trying to get to. Now it's so different. But I remember that Whitley said, I don't need a man with money. I want a man with ambition, because a man with ambition will always figure out a way to provide and have the money. And that was something that I was taught. But I think that for some reason we've abandoned that, right? And we are now believing that the end result is what makes the character. And we all know, like, if you're baking a cake, what makes the cake good is what you put in it to get it to that end point. Not the end point, right?
Talking.
End point could be like, it could be disgusting, but it could look pretty. So we are doing our young women a disservice by telling them the man with the most money is the biggest catch. That's the man that you should give your everything to, give your body to. I was listening to JT, and God bless his sister. I have a heart for her and women that I feel like just haven't been taught, right? So she was saying in this song that she just put out, she's saying that she's giving you how dope she is, and she said I can't do this, but I can take D, right? And I'm just like, that is so sad that we have taught our young women that that's what makes them valuable, and you should take what makes you valuable, your ability to take this. And she was like, and if he's cheating on me, bring the other girls back to the house and let them watch me do it. Like, we have really, really done them a disservice. And unfortunately, for those of us that don't speak out, even if it's not, I mean, obviously I can't speak to JT, but even if it's, we should be speaking to young women that are around us. Men should be speaking to young men that are around them, because we have to teach them that you are first of all, you're confused about your value, beautiful, beautiful sister. You are confused about what makes you amazing, right? I don't know if it makes for a good lyric, it makes for a good song, but that's not what makes you amazing. And you take that, the best of what you feel like you have to offer, and you give it to a man because he has money, right? And then he disrespects you, you disrespect yourself, he disrespects himself. And then you wonder why you're left with such dysfunction. And we have children born into such dysfunction. It's just sad. We have to start looking at things differently. We have to.
We do. And China Doll says something, and I know, because I know the towns she lived in here, from Connecticut, and she was like, she made it her business not to date drug dealers, which were a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. She from New Haven, so it's probably like the guys from Elm Street or whatever. But it and that's what we saw. So once those women started doing that, it's a cycle. It's like, oh, that's what you like. This is what we do, and it's more y'all doing it, the more I like it, so on and so forth. And we got away from so much instant gratification, the now money, and you just think about it. There's a young lady in high school or when I was growing up that wanted the older guys that had the money now. We're in high school. So a fast food job is sufficient in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I came along, that was done.
Yeah, now you have girls that would rather date a scammer because he has quick money. He has quick money. But what type of character, is that? And I think we have to. You said something the other day, like, men will do what women want, and in the same token, men will do what attracts women, and women will do what they feel like attracts men. Mm-hmm. And both of us have to be more responsible in the messages that we're putting out. And I feel like for instance, you guys know I consider myself a bit of a matchmaker. I'm trying to find love and bring love to people. And my daughter is single, and so I met this young man today, and he was in his early 30s, and he's telling me how his family has land. He's trying to teach his young cousins that they should not sell their land. They should take care of it. And he was like, I asked him, I said, well, are you dating? And he was like, I don't want to date because the girls that I meet, they only want me they only want money. So I just have to focus on my money, and I have to focus on getting it up. Now, this man is a producer. He's doing all these things. He's teaching his family how to farm, and a black farm. And he's saying that he's not deserving of a woman because he doesn't have money. And I'm like, this is the journey that man is on. One day there's going to be a woman that is with him, if he can find the right woman who is going to be, they build something together that can be beautiful, right? But he feels like he's not worthy because of that. And I also want to tell you, the women here, because we had a great conversation. We were at the Real Housewives of Atlanta dinner, and I was over it, but I would start talking to him because he was one of the producers, right? So he said, I said, well, what attracts you to a woman? This is a young man in his early 30s. And he said, if I can really talk to her about what I have going on. And I said, yeah, you guys say that, but you want a certain look. And he was like, honestly, he said, we like a certain look, but he was like, I don't really meet girls I can just talk to. I could just talk to about what I'm dealing with. And he's telling me, he was like, how many of you are talking? If I could talk to a woman like this that I wanted to date, that would be so much to me. And another guy was saying, he was like, he's right.
Yes.
Like, are we not listening, women?
Yes, he's right.
So y'all know what I did? I went into my phone and I showed him my daughter's picture. And I was like, what do you think about this young lady? And he was like, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. I ain't say it was my daughter. And then I was like, okay, well, you know what? I would love to introduce her. He was like, I would love to meet her. He was like, but I'm telling you, I know that, you know, women here in Atlanta, da, 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 da. And I said, you know what? This is the thing. He's young. Well, not, you know, he's young. He's younger. But the fact that he thinks that he's not worthy because he's not a millionaire is ridiculous. And the fact that a woman will feel like because she doesn't feel good when she gives up her self-respect, that she's not worthy. We got to stop this. We got to stop this. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, Mo.
You know what's funny about that? That's why you see the guys and they be like, I don't approach women. That's part of it.
That's true. That's what he said.
No, that's part of it. And then when you hear the guys, well, I approach women all the time. Look what their position they're in. You see what I'm saying? So when you hear that, this is the reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She said Elm Street. I knew it. But that's what it is. So if you approach me, then you're really not tripping, or that's not what you on, or if you at least give me a signal. But the guys that be sometimes the most confident in going out there doing that, you look at the situation. It just so happens to be that, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I can say you're right, because at our event, and I know we got to get back to family.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
But at our event, there were two guys there that said they both approached women, and they both were very, you know, I approach women all the time. One of them made $500,000 a year. The other one was a former pro football player. So of course the two of them feel comfortable. But as so one of the guys today said, he was like, Christal, the problem is the extremes are talking, but all these people in the middle are not connecting because they're listening to the extremes. Here's this young man. He's out here. He's a producer. He's doing all this stuff, but he feels like he's not good enough. Here's a young lady, and it's because we're listening to the extremes. We have to keep talking so that we can try to start showing people that that not every woman wants a man that has, you know, $1 million in the bank, because at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that man is going to be a good man to you. And it doesn't make him better because he's had maybe better luck. It just doesn't make him better. Hold on, we have a question. The question came from Rose. Rose said, I'm going on a first date tomorrow. How do y'all suggest working on listening rather than talking? Any suggestions on good questions to ask to get him talking? Mo, I'll let you take that.
I think digging into someone's background, not so much of their present situation, you know what I mean? But, you know, what was it like growing up? Where are you from? What was it like growing up there? How was that experience for you? You know what I mean? Different type of stuff, like not super intrusive, like if they like had a bad background, but, you know, once people start to feel like you really care about them, or, you know, go deeper than the shallow questions, then most people like talking about themselves. You know what I mean? So I just believe those things, not superficial things. Family, what does this mean to you? You know, that I just believe those questions help. Obviously, well, what do you do? I mean, not to say you can't get to that, but
Mo does not like when people ask that question.
Well,
I know a lot of guys don't. One of the guys that was there that was a football player, a former football player, former Falcons player. He said, when girls say, what do you do? I just be like, you know, I work at McDonald's. Because I just, you know, I see the fact that eyes are going to light up when they hear this, and I know it's going to be, now the focus is on that. So I think I like what you said about like people, and what I've heard from men, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like a lot of men feel like the woman doesn't really care about who they are. They just want to know, like, what do you have to offer? So if you can show him that you really want to get to know him, and you really are open to getting to know him as opposed to what he can do for you, I think that's a good way to start. Because from what I hear from this guy, he had no reason to lie to me. He didn't know me from a can of paint. He said, I just don't feel like there's any women women don't care. Like they don't want to hear what you have. They just want to know what can you do? What are you doing? What can you do for them? They don't care about you. And I can't talk. And he does have a job. He does have a great job as a producer for a reality show, because he was there working. Like, obviously he wouldn't have been there if he didn't have a job, but he's not the executive producer. He's not Carlos King.
Right.
You know?
No, you hit it. There it is right there. I just don't like that to be one of the first 3 questions. That just feels like something else. Like you were saying, the brother who played like going into the background and what was it like for you doing this, and how, these type of things is more about me, and we like that. I mean, not saying you can't get to it, but to be, and I don't know about anywhere else, but I know here in this town, it's usually one of the first 3 questions.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Hey you 7 Her 3 says, how are you going to know if someone cares on the first date? I don't think it's if they care. I think it's, are they open to really getting to know you? Do they
about what? I don't know you.
She's saying, how do I act like I care about a person on the first date? And I'm saying, I don't think it's about like, oh, I care about you. I think it's like, I want to get to know you. I really want to get to know the real you. I am here because I'm interested in getting to know you.
You know why people talk to Christal? Just so you know, like, she is easy to talk to, and she talks back, and she acts engaging. We just want someone easy to talk to, and when we find someone attractive, that's cool and easy to talk to, man, that's when dudes get on their phone, and we don't really get on the phone and tell our friends about. But that's the exciting thing, and to get the two. Okay, I'm attracted to her. And guess what, man? She was real cool. And we're like always surprised and be like, aren't they supposed to be? It's just like when you talk about, if a man hugs you and be like, well, you're just so soft.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we're hard. It's not like it's refreshing to meet a woman that we're attracted to. That's cool. It's not asking the what you can do for me questions.
Yeah.
Just asking, who are you? How is it like for you? What's your experience?
Who are you? That's a great place to start. And I think also, I will say too, make sure that he also is reciprocating. I think that's a good first date lesson. Maybe we should do that like on a Wednesday, like talk about a first date. If you are doing all the care, the asking and the probing, and he's not, don't go on a second date. I don't feel, because I feel like people show you who they are very quickly. When we make mistakes is when we don't pay attention to those red flags.
There you go. If he keeps looking down, then he ain't really paying attention to what you're talking about. Eyes here and talk. That's all.
And if he's not reciprocating with questions and engaging, don't keep pulling. Don't keep pulling, because if you got to pull on the first date, the second date, I swear to you, in 6 months, it's gonna be an even harder pull.
Well, give them time to adjust on the first date. Not a lot of time, but because we're really not used to that, we might get thrown off from it. Be like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. And then we'll adjust.
Mm-hmm.
We'll adjust. Yeah. Don't give them the whole date, but we'll adjust.
So let's finish up with the family empire. So I feel like with the situation with Jaquetta and Chris, I think he seems. I mean, we'll probably get to know a little bit more about their relationship over the next weeks, but I think from what we see,
he's over it, really.
You think he's over it?
I think he just don't want. It's hard to tell your wife, I don't want to F with your family like that. You know, but I think because he didn't even negotiate.
He did not negotiate.
You didn't even negotiate.
But I also feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like he could have a bit of laziness in him because he's been collecting that check.
Well, that's to Nicole's point then.
Yeah.
You know.
He's been collecting the check. And I think that's another reason why Jaquetta doesn't trust him. He's been collecting the check. He has not been doing work that would be, equivalent to the check, but he's had no problem collecting it. Like, to me, if you're getting paid and especially if you're working for my family, you're getting paid every month. That check is coming into this family. And you know that you're not working to gauge, to balance the equivalent of that, then you should feel uncomfortable. You shouldn't be like, oh, I'm getting away with it. Like, that to me is a problem, that he is chilling with it. Like, I don't like it.
My brother Chris negotiated a deal for 9 months to a year and do half the stuff that's on there. Then for the pay that you having right now, then if everything is sufficient, renegotiate and get more money and finish the other half. You see what I'm saying? Like, work with them. But you just can't throw away a check. That's not good. That's not good business. You're supposed to negotiate. You just don't say no. You be like, well, let me look it over. This is what I feel about this. Now, they did give him another contract.
Yeah, he came back with another contract. And I feel like some of this, of course, we have to give them a pass. Could be the show. They could be trying to make, some drama, and that is a good place for drama with there to be with the husbands. But we'll have to wait to see what happens next week if he does negotiate. And I just don't, even with the way he talks, he doesn't feel like he stands on business. He doesn't feel like.
Yeah, he seems a little shaky. I can't hold you.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think it's a difference between a passive man and a man who is mature enough to not need to be the rah-rah guy? Like, sometimes I think we mistake a man that is actually like calm and mature for a pushover.
But here's the thing. He's still going to have action though.
Facts.
So he could not be the boisterous, but there's still going to be action to replace that. The other guy is going to be nothing anyway. So,
yeah,
that's it.
And Toy says, I think some strong women attract soft men. I agree. And I think that's one of the problems, because I think strong or assertive or aggressive women don't always attract alpha males or assertive men. But I also think that they end up, and I also think that like some men that are more submissive, they may feel more comfortable with a partner that's more assertive, right?
Right.
I've seen that. I've seen some guys that kind of, they're with their woman because she makes them feel safe. And if that's what works for that couple, that's great. But a lot of times that does not work for the couple. They're doing it, but secretly they're resenting one another. And secretly she's resenting him because she does not like the fact that he's not taking care of business and she has to do it all the time. And then he's resenting her because she doesn't look at him like the man. She's the man in a relationship.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Are you distracted, honey dipper?
No. I'm not. I think that if I don't know if it's him or her, because I often hear women, I need someone that I can respect. But you got to give, like, that's why I always say, the women that say that, the women that I found to say that, I see they didn't give no time to respect. They did someone they didn't know, but they only knew the title. And they gave this person respect automatically.
Yeah.
Without even knowing him. But then here's somebody else that this person got to earn it. I'm thinking everybody's supposed to earn it, ain't they? and this is why I always say the guys lie with the titles, because they know it's going to get respect.
Well, the title is just symbolic of the financial, the finances that come with that. So when someone hears director of acquisitions for a Fortune 500 company, they just hear big check,
right?
Security. You know what I mean? It's not
Right.
like the title is a big deal. It's exactly, having a title is a proxy for earning. Thank you, your 703. It's a proxy for earning. It means that there's some security, there's potentially some benefits. There is a future here, as opposed to we are out here winging it. I am getting a check from your family. So in essence, we are paying your salary. I don't ever suggest that. Now, it does seem that Chris is very good at what he does, because even Nicole admitted that, like, he must be very good at content creation. But I just don't know if he's a great business partner. A business person. So one of the things that he could do that could benefit him is to find a business partner that is very good at actually doing the business side, and have that person be the one that interacts with the family.
I like that. Because wasn't he saying it was taken away from his other business anyway?
Yes.
His photography?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And he's definitely promoting it, because he had on the shirt.
You caught that.
He said, I'm going to ride this out. Yes, Druzy, he did. I saw that. And trust me, it's not over. It's going to continue.
I caught that.
But yeah, I think that a lot of creatives are not great business people, and that's not wrong. That doesn't make them weak. But I do think when you know that you have a weakness, you have to figure out how to offset that. And maybe he needs a partner. A lot of creative people need partners to kind of help them, focus on the business, right? And I think he would need a buffer, because he's going to end up getting beat up, and it's going to end up causing problems with his family.
That's always when it's a family business and you're outsider coming in. It's tough, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's tough.
Yeah. So interesting show. What do you think about where do you think we're going with the land? I do feel like, the conversation was brought up again today, and we saw some highlights from next week.
I didn't know the grandfather wanted the G2s to have it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. So that's what I get it now. But the grandmother's here.
Right.
So it's just like that. I didn't know that. So I definitely caught that. But
it's also interesting that they're calling Nicole an Oscarine. And
I saw it. I heard that.
So
here's what I think. I think they're going to split it.
Okay.
They're going to sell half and keep it.
But the crazy thing is, it's not a huge piece of land. It's a piece of land that they could do a housing development on, but I don't even think it's 5 full acres. It's not a big piece of land. So if they did sell it, it's a prime piece of land because of what they would be able to do, the houses they'd be able to put on it. Right. But it would not necessarily lend to that if they cut it in half. I don't know.
I did see it. It didn't look as big as I thought it did, but when they said how much money they can make off of it if they rent
it, prime location.
Yeah.
The prime location, if they make it into a subdivision that has, houses next to each other,
right?
And it can be, because I believe it's like not quite 3 acres, right? Which is when you're talking about splitting it, that takes it down to 1.5 acres, and that's kind of just different.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah, Druzy's right. Those little girls have pawpaw wrapped around their fingers. I think that's true. I think, it's easy for a grandparent to have more, be sweeter on the grandchildren than the children. But it's interesting that Oscarine and her beloved were not on the same page. I'm interested to hear her response to that.
But I think the respectable thing to do is, first of all, honor the person that's here. Secondly, it's just the order.
Yeah.
G1s, G2. That's only
Yeah, because that's what gets me, because I'm like the order, and I'm going to ask them about that on Monday. If you guys have questions that you want me to ask the ladies, please put those in the chat. If you're watching the replay of this, make sure that you put those questions in the chat. And we've got to figure out. We're going to start splitting our Fridays between Family Empire and Love and Marriage Huntsville. And the reason that we're going to do that is because Love and Marriage Huntsville is off the chain. And Marceau and Marquez had a conversation that we have to talk about. We just have to talk about it. So we think that if we do Love and Marriage Huntsville and Family Empire, we'll be able to get, just have great conversation on both every Friday.
45 minutes to each party. What you think?
Something like that.
Something like that. Close to.
We'll try. We'll do our best. But I'm telling you, Love and Marriage Huntsville is off the chain. And I think both of those shows, I think they'll pair well on a Friday night, because we know that on a Friday night, we're going to watch the episode for Family Empire. And then we're preparing for the new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I would ask you guys to come back on next Friday. Of course, we have Wednesday to do between that. And also Monday, I'll be having my conversations with the ladies, but we want to make sure that we got to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, because it's just a lot that's happening this season with Nell and Chris and Marquez and Latricia and Ken. It's a lot happening, and we just need to be able to get into it.
Can you tell them the new thing that we're adding to Wednesday, just so they're clear, so everybody can get involved?
Well, so we do, you guys know, on Wednesdays, we do dating disasters and dating dilemmas, but we also want to talk about dating deal breakers. Now, this coming Wednesday, we have another guest. Actually, we probably have two guests. So we want you guys to tune in for that, because we're inviting some other relationship bloggers to be here. We also should have a report from one of the couples that went out on a date to the event last Wednesday. But we want to make sure that we're talking about some of you have not had a dating disaster. Maybe you've only had positive dates. Some of you guys may not have a dating dilemma. You may not have something you want to ask us. But we also want to talk about dating deal breakers, because I think there are a lot of deal breakers that men have that women aren't aware of, and vice versa. So I think kind of delving into that will help all of us as we're looking at, meeting the right person.
Yes.
I just want to say real quick, because I know we have to start Love and Marriage Huntsville next week, but did anybody see the conversation with Marceau and Marquez? Marquez is Latricia's husband. I just got to say, Marceau has his issues, right? And we know he's a smart ass. He's intelligent. I like it. I think it's funny, but a lot of people have an issue with his snarkiness and his sarcasm. But when he held Marquez to the fire, when it comes to leaving your family, I was like, we got to start doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, because I loved it. I have never seen a man hold another man accountable to the idea of manhood and fatherhood. Yeah. Kudos to Marceau for that.
Yeah, that's real. We really, really need we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. Just reaching back to the younger men, but it's only I guess it might be everybody, or it might be a guy that messed up. But it's usually a guy that messed up, or a guy that's in a happy space now. And they share and they give you the, but when you talk about the unhappy and bitter guys, which is a lot, we don't really get this information.
Yeah. I will say, I did not realize this season, Marceau and Maurice have talked a little, well, Maurice specifically talked with Moses and Sonny about their upbringing, the fact that their mother raised 8 children on her own after the family split up. But I think that it has to do with a man that if a man is taught principles and what's important, then I think that he's more likely to share that. And for me, when I was listening to Marceau, he just sounded like a man who has held himself and his family to a higher standard. And I feel like that clip needs to run in perpetuity, because there are so many men who feel like they should be able to leave their families, because Marquez was like, oh, well, I didn't leave my children, I left the situation. No, you left your children.
Yeah.
He moved to Atlanta. He left his children. And when you cannot expect the children to hold a fire for you when you're not there, they're going to move on. They're going to move forward. So it's very simple. If you decide to have children with a woman, then you have to be aware of what your absence is going to do to the children, and you have to take that into consideration when you decide to make that move. Now, if you are more important than the children, which a lot of people, well, my happiness is important. Well, be happy, sir. Be happy, ma'am. But at the end of the day, you being absent is going to create a hole in those children, and don't get mad when they feel it with another man.
We have to teach that early. You know what?
Marceau did tell him to tell that man thank you, and I agreed with it, and does need to say thank you.
I think you know how they have the marriage counseling before they get married.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same should be for having children. Because there's some people that just don't know, and a lot of us that do know assume that they know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't giving the tools early,
right?
To, like, you know, it's a very selfish act. And I'm not making an excuse for the young man, because I think deep down inside he knew, but he was just so selfish.
Yes.
But we have to teach I think young people in general, men and women, like, okay, this is going to happen. These are the things, because we do it with marriage. And you could divorce somebody, but your kids are always going to be your kids.
You cannot divorce your children. And a lot of men,
it's like,
a lot of men do.
You know how they say, it's some people that won't marry you in their church unless they give you counseling.
But that's how our church was. That's how our church was. Yeah.
And I'm saying, when we have these kids, and, you know, these young people are scared sometimes.
Right.
Don't know. And they're raised by someone else that probably still trying to figure it out.
But unfortunately, the sad thing about that is, even if you don't know, you still have to suffer the consequences.
No, absolutely.
And that's what's hard, because I agree. Mina says they married young and didn't have the relationship tools necessary to hold a family together and to flourish. I agree with that. Yes. But Marceau gave him the real man, hard truth, because the reality is, he said, now, if your daughter is 10 years old, he said, I don't want another man around my daughter. And I'm still parenting my daughter. You're not parenting. You're not there. Parenting is someone that's there on a regular basis. You are someone that they have fun with, maybe when they see, but actually the children are upset. And if the children are upset, you cannot always blame the mom. Sometimes they're upset because they miss you, specifically if you were there. So Marceau said, if the man is in the house and your daughter comes in the house crying, do you want that man to tell her to go away and reject her, or do you want him to give her a hug? And he said, give her a hug. He said, okay, so you should tell him thank you, because he's been taking care of your daughter. And then the guy said, I actually wrote an article. I'm going to share it with you guys on Monday, because I was like, I feel like this dude is a bigger F-boy than Martell. And I'll say why. Martell definitely wins the prize hand down for being one of the most trifling men on television. However, no one in Huntsville or anywhere else has ever said that Martell is a bad father. Yes, he has his shortcomings when it comes to being a husband. And no, I don't understand why women are dating him, other than the fact that he's attractive. However, everybody around that man says you can tell he loves his children. He puts them first. So maybe except for Melody, but everybody else says that. So it's like that we see is a consistency, and we definitely believe that he loves his children. This man said, I never had anybody in my family die, and I didn't know how to comfort her. And so I just didn't.
That's crazy.
Then when Marceau said, well, maybe this guy may not be there. He said, no, he worships the ground that she walks on. And Marceau came back and he said, well, thank God somebody does. Because you should not want your children to grow up seeing their mother not be loved and cared for. Because your children are going to define their own reality through what they saw their mother go through. If they feel like no one wants their mother, they're not going to feel like anybody wants them.
I think that's half of it.
What's the other half? And what are you doing? Because you're distracted.
I got my glasses on today because somebody was like, put your prescription glasses on. Mo, you need these are prescription. Thank you. And I do have them on.
Well, you're not responding.
No. I was about to say something. But in everything you said is 1,000% true. That's not a good question. I don't even want to say that. Mo got his pajamas on. Yeah.
I got more distracted. You put
your
on prescription back on because tonight you've been watching the phone or something else.
No. I've been finally get to read it without taking off and on. But I was gonna say, but in the other way around, does anybody care how the man feels?
What do you mean?
They was like, you want to see the mother and make sure, but at the same time, it's like, what about both parents feel? Not him per se, because he did some dumb shit. I'm not talking about him.
Right.
This is the man.
Yeah.
He's not there. No, he's not there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But you said something earlier. You said you never heard anything bad about, and they say he's a good dad. And you were proving to me what I said months ago. I'm like, yo, you could be a good father and not so much of a good husband. You can.
But eventually you would need to figure out how to be at least.
If I ain't with her, I ain't with her. I'm with them kids. I don't need to be good to her.
But if you really love your children, you won't disrespect their mother.
No, you don't have to disrespect her. Right. I'm fair to her, but right. I have to be, because we are not husband and wife. So right. I have to do anything to, as long as I'm good to them and I'm at least fair. These kids got phones now. These mothers will tell you real quick, you ain't got to call me. You can speak to them directly. Right. So we ain't got to really do much for her. Long as she's getting whatever support financially she's getting, I'm dealing with these kids. And I think that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm just speaking of like when a man disrespects the mom. And either way.
That's what I'd be saying.
I will say, I want to make sure I say this to you. I do think I have heard my children and I've heard from others, they want their father to be happy as well. Yes, they want their mother to be happy, but they want their father. But I'm telling you, that's true. Even my husband has 5 girls, and the girls, they're not really keen on excited about new people because they've met a lot of new women, but they want their dad to be happy. They really do. They have issues but they really want their father to be happy. My kids, they want their father to be happy. They want him to be in a good situation.
That's all. I believe it. I'm just saying we don't be hearing that part. We just hear good to her, and we don't hear nothing else.
No, we want
a happy wife, happy life. We don't hear nothing about the man. I'll just be trying to stick up for men too.
Sometimes. No, we're sticking up for. We want
us to be happy.
Everybody to be happy. I don't think any child who has a good relationship with their father wants to see their father being mistreated or unhappy and lonely. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
I don't think people do. It's just not promoted. That's all.
I think your son, he is a sweetheart. He wants you to be happy.
Who?
Your son.
Oh, I thought you was talking to me. Oh, yeah. No, I talked to my son yesterday. Well, his birthday was Monday.
But he wants you to be happy.
Oh,
right?
no, all the time. The time.
He's a good son.
All the time, man. I'm super, super proud of him.
He's a sweet guy.
26 on Monday.
Wow. That's crazy. I can't believe he's all grown up. But yeah, I do think that, and maybe we have to say it more, but I do think it's important that men are happy that they have someone that's made. I think children want, if they can see both sides flourishing, it makes them feel more optimistic about their own future.
There you go. I like that. Men and women. I mean, young people, man. I mean, when they say they are the future, they really are. It's a scary future. But they truly are.
Yeah.
They truly are. And there's some good ones out there. I don't want to like just dump on the stuff that we be seeing and hearing about on social media. There are some young, talented, ambitious people out there. And I think we let social media dictate to us that they're all like what we see out there. They're not.
What do you think about, just a quick pivot? Do you guys, what did you guys think about the fact that there was a huge like shutdown, a day, like a Microsoft?
Hey man,
what the heck is going on, man?
I couldn't. We had some issues at work. Hopefully it don't affect nobody's money. Like paychecks and deposits and all like that. Didn't affect mine this week, but we'll see next week.
Well, I think it's a signal. Did you guys see that movie Leave the World Behind on Netflix?
I did not.
Watch it, and let's talk about it. I just feel like we have to be aware that there's some things happening in our country. We need to have a bat signal. So the XO family, if something happens, we can all connect someplace if YouTube goes down, because I'm telling you, it's some weird things happening. Seriously.
In 2000, when it turned in 2000, we thought this is what we thought was going to happen. Well, some of it didn't happen, but from the airports to it's certain systems that run through that, and it's just interesting. Are they back up?
I don't know. I had a friend that her boyfriend was flying in and he couldn't fly. And I even heard that some hospitals were having issues, which can be extremely scary. But I think that it is just, I just want us all to pray, stay prayed up, stay connected with your family, because we just don't really know what's happening right now.
But a lot of it is compute. What did we do before then? Like this thing in Georgia right now, this county outside of Atlanta, that are saying there's this discussion about kids locking their phones up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's parents and some people on this committee saying no, because they need to get in touch. What did people do before? Like we act like we so rely on, like we live. This is crazy.
Let me tell you something. I'm getting a landline. We are installing a landline in our home this weekend, because
something happens to my kids, they need to contact. What did we do back in it? Like, come on, man.
Well, I think what's happened is we become very lazy, and we become everything has gone to technology. But I just wanted to put that out there. You guys, please stay prayed up, because we don't know what is happening. And if something were to wipe out our ability to communicate on our phones, that
landline.
Yeah. So that is, you're right. Maybe a Discord. I do think there is going to be, we're going to have to do something, because I don't want to lose our connection here, and we don't know what's going to happen. Discord or Patreon or something. But Discord, I actually have been thinking about that, Rose. So thank you for that. I think we're going to get ready to get out of here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Lynn Toy says it was crazy. I'm in healthcare and all the surgeries were postponed as the anesthesia machines were not working. You guys, come on.
What?
Come on. This is not normal. This is not normal. This is some scary stuff. Mina says, Crystal, we're still waiting on y'all to review The Ultimatum South Africa. I will do it. Mo, have you watched it? Because that show was, oh my God, I can't wait for them to come on. I can't wait for them to come back with another. I want to talk about that. That series was crazy. I actually wrote about it, but Mo got to watch it. He got to watch the whole thing.
I didn't even think about the cash thing, and I'll be forgetting to get cash.
But you guys know what? If the dollar, something could happen to where the dollar is no longer, doesn't have its value, and we could end up, we could just have paper that doesn't mean anything. So I do believe it was a cyber attack, DeQueezy. I definitely do. And I hope we don't get blackballed on YouTube for saying that. But I just want to say, like, money and currency is all depends on what's going on with the stock market and everything else. So it's very easy for the dollar to crash, and then those of us that are putting up cash can have a lot of useless paper. I think it's important to make sure that you are, number one, that you pray, that you have things that are yours, that you know how to survive, and that you just are not, we have to be very, very intuitive and not just take what is told to us, but actually research and say, what doesn't make sense? Like you saying that there was a crash and not explaining to me what it is, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm not going to just allow you to tell me things. Just like, I don't want to go into the politics, but there's a lot been going on. It's crazy recently. And I just want to tell you guys, please pray and please keep your eyes open and don't be a sheep. We have to be very diligent and listen and do our own research and not just take what is shared on social media, because you realize social media has us all in basically virtual silos to where you're getting the information that has been sent to you, and it's not necessarily authentic, objective information.
Man, it's spooky out here.
Again. It is. We need to get a bat signal for the XO family.
We really do.
We should figure out the Discord, because I do think we need to meet. We need to have another location, and we need to get more people. I really want this channel to grow, because I feel like the conversations that we have are really important to the community and the culture. So I want us to be able to figure out how to invite more people and to grow the family. We've had over 100 people tuning in tonight, which is great. But we want to make sure, because people, when we have a cast member and it's some mess, we have 400, 500, 600 people in the chat or tuning in. But when we're talking about real stuff, then it's less amount of people. I think the people that are supposed to be here are here. However, I do want us to do more things to grow the family so that we're able to reach more people and we can all, feel connected. So
yes,
that's what we need to do. So, all right. Well, you guys have an amazing weekend. Please stay safe. If you are in the South, like we are, there's supposed to be a lot of storms and a lot of bad weather. There was a lot of bad weather today.
They done messed up the concert for me, man.
I know. And I actually will be sharing with you guys more about my day today with the Real Housewives. But I'll share that later. But right now, make sure that you enjoy the weekend, but stay safe. We love you all. Remember, Monday evening, I will be here with the ladies from Family Empire. I'm excited about that. And then Wednesday, tune in for a very, very special Dating Diaries, because we have a very special, we got a female guest this time, because, we had all females, and then we had, between Dave and Mo, I needed some backup. Okay.
Oh, you ain't say that when it was you and Shay on me.
Well, you know what? We can invite another guy, and then I'm gonna invite a woman, and we're gonna get into some gangster stuff. Okay. We're gonna get into stuff. All right. We love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Make sure that you check out Love and Marriage Huntsville. So next Friday, you're ready for us to do. We'll do Family Empire first, and then Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that's what we're doing every Friday. Not just Family Empire. We're doing Family Empire and Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's a joint recap so that we can keep everybody up to date, and we can, hit two birds with one stone. And yes, DeQueezy, I got you. We're working on that. All right. We love y'all. See you on Monday. Family Empire right here.
Christal Monday.
All right. The Honey Dipper has left the building. Love you guys. Bye-bye.